Kelly Lamb says, "Hey friends, not gonna lie, I'm concerned to see the U.S. seems to be heading in the same direction as Canada. Thank you for your work amid the chaos." Thank you, Kelly. It is. So
it is.
yeah.
And it's okay. Like, that I know this, Kelly, but for anyone, because I see some other people in the chat talking about feeling dispirited. I don't just say this. Look, Carter and I wouldn't do this show if we thought things were hopeless. What's the point? If we thought things were hopeless, what do you say, Carter? You just go live on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, I'd be in a I'd be in the woods with an underground bunker. I don't know.
Because what's the point? But I don't think things are hopeless. I think we just have to. We know that things are going to get more dystopian and are going to get darker for a while, and just know that, be realistic about it, but know that those things come to an end. What does Martin Luther King say? Again, appropriate day. He says only light can drive out the darkness, and that's what I already see glimmers of that light on the horizon.
I think a lot of individualists, because the version of community that they are presented with is an oppressive collectivist thing. It's not actually voluntary community. It's oppressive collectivism. What they do is they underestimate the value of actual voluntary community, and they think that their life will be better off if they just separate and go be a hermit in the woods. And that actually does suck. That's a horrible, horrible existence. And I'm more of a hermit. I'm an introvert. I totally get my batteries recharged by being away from people and alone in the woods. I get it. But, for many of the things that make life bearable and better involve voluntary interactions with other people. It involves a community. And I think a lot of individualists have thrown the baby out with the bathwater, because the community that they're being presented with is a bunch of busybody socialist, collectivists. And no one wants that community. That's not a community. That's a prison, right? So, what you need to do is build a different community, not run off and hide in your bunker, because you're not going to last long that way.
Because otherwise, you just become like, that's what the Unabomber did. He lived in a shed in the woods, that by himself. It's somebody. This is not a super chat. It's just a chat that I saw that made me laugh. Sir Lunchalot, which is a great name itself, is very funny. Sir Lunchalot says, "Hey, I'm in the woods in an underground bunker. What are you trying to imply?"
Well, I get it, Sir Lunchalot. I'm not saying I don't empathize with you. I just, you might be happy you're having a little bit of a community. You're here, though. At least you have an online community.
Samuel Burke, let me do some. Samuel Burke says, "I'm feeling anxious. Future looks bleak. Are y'all hopeful? Love y'all show." Thank you, Samuel. And yes, I just addressed this, but I'll say it again. I am hopeful, and we wouldn't do this if we weren't. And that, again, you just have to look at what's beyond the very trying period and that we're about to enter, that we've already entered, and who knows how long it'll last and how bad things will get. But I'm absolutely hopeful. Humanity's been through struggles much worse than this is so far, many times before, and come out on the other side. So even if you're not a believer in God, I mean, I believe in God, and that gives me a lot of peace, because I believe that, and I believe in a creator who has a plan, and I believe in something bigger than the world. I don't know how to explain that, but the believers, I think, hopefully will know what I mean. But even, you don't have to believe in God you can just look at history and look at what humanity's come through before.
Yeah, I mean, there's short-term and long-term hope. I mean, I don't. Will we eventually emerge from this? Yeah, or we'll destroy ourselves. I mean, yes, I guess. But when I look at the short term, the thing that gives me hope, actually, and maybe this will be depressing to people, but it's not to me, because I just readjusted my expectations. I do not have hope that we will suddenly vote in liberty-minded people, and the country will, as a whole, return to, limited government in some way in the next 20 years. Like, that's not going to happen. That's a pipe dream. Like, put the pot down and like think for a minute. That's not where we are. But the largest contingency of freedom-loving, liberty-minded people in the world is here in America, and there are a lot of them. And whether or not we exist as a community within some larger, increasingly authoritarian system, or whether we are able to somehow have a separate community and keep that torch alive, the magic of the United States is not the 50 states. They're not even, there wasn't 50 states when America was founded. The magic of the United States is not the land mass and the particular states that are a part of it. It is the values of that are enshrined in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Those values are alive and well in a large percentage of the population, not
Yes.
everywhere. And we can make sure as a community that those values persist and carry on. And if they can't carry on in the District of Columbia, I don't care. I care that they carry on. And I think there's a lot of reason to believe that they can carry on somewhere in some form with the people that are in the United States right now that still have that still value those values.
Yeah.
Which is why we did the show.